Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof.
G'day, how are you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie Metal Guy, here with Crank.com and with Cranium Radio. So tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that I'm getting to have a chat with Daniel Freiberg of Crown Shift, who's also played with Children of Bodom, done that Bodom After Midnight EP, and the Crown Shift album is due to release May 10th through Nuclear Blast. It's an absolute ripper. One I've been super excited about because I've been having the singles drip fed through to me to play on the radio. So Daniel, thank you so very much, my friend.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine, mate. Can you tell me kind of where this kind of all began for you with Crown Shift? Because I know you are all friends and knew each other, but can you tell me kind of where the project came from?
Well, exactly because we were old friends and we have already history together, at least me, Heikki, and Jukka, and we've been playing together in the different band. And when that band, retired, we always thought about and talk about that someday we would do something together. And during the years, we had these chats back and forth, but it took a little while. But we're finally the day came. So yeah, and also Tommy is my old buddy too. And when we were thinking about it, who would we get to sing? Tommy was the first guy, because in my mind, because he can do pretty much anything. So yeah, got an amazing group together.
Yeah, well, Tommy has an amazing voice, ex-Ocean Horse and Migraine, of course. Absolutely amazing vocalist, and it just fits so well. Tell us a little bit about the first time you guys actually all sat down together and kind of that initial, let's start creating music, together. What was that like, that first kind of process for you guys?
Oh, actually, it went a little bit different because the music creation kind of started before we actually got the group together, and that's how it kind of became more serious, because I started to have these songs, in my hard drive, and then we were chatting with Heikki and Jukka that now we should probably start recording something, and let's see along the way who we can get to sing these. So it went like in different phases, the recording. But yeah, it was finally awesome when we got something like on tape on hard drive. And then I asked Tommy that we've been having these talks, and could you now come down and we could try something and see if you like it and if we like it. So, but it worked just perfectly. I think the song was If You Dare, which we recorded first. And yeah, it was a match, instant match.
Yeah. If You Dare is one of the singles that have released off of the album so far. Tell us a little bit more about that track, because that one was a really cool one as well.
Oh yeah, I think that's a pretty good take on the album. It has a little bit everything what Crown Shift is about. So it was kind of a no-brainer for a first single, because it has this heavier side, but it's also have this kind of sunrise chorus with a little bit poppier melodies, and it's a good mix of pretty much everything.
Yeah, well, the melodies in this are just bloody unreal, and your guitar playing, as always, is absolutely exceptional. So can you tell me a little bit about your tonality and kind of laying down the riffs for this as well, and your melodies?
Yeah, I mean, it's just how I do always, like a songs, you're kind of fiddling around and wait that something start to happen, and one thing leads to another. It's not really you know certain formula how these riffs or melodies came, but yeah, it's just one part inspires to another part, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and did you know kind of like what sound you were going for? Because you just have this really, really cool sound that has that driving guitars of you in there behind it as well.
Oh yeah, I like a very wet lead sounds. Well, that's probably one of what was in my head, that I want to really chorusing delayed lead sounds, and also keyboards to kind of make that even more shiny.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just the sounds I like,
Were
and we
you
went for that.
were you pretty surprised with the feedback you've been getting? Because you've been getting some unreal feedback, and already I know it's a debut album, but you guys are all really talented musicians and in some bloody amazing acts as well. Like you got Heikki, as you mentioned, Fintroll, Winter Sun, and Yulka of Nightwish and Winter Sun as well, and yourself and Tommy. You know what I mean? You're all in these acts as well, but starting out as a band and you go, oh, you know, this is a debut album. Some people don't realize probably the quality and talent you guys have behind you as well.
Yeah, I mean the feedback has been unreal, and we couldn't be more grateful for that. And it still amazes me that people are so how they embrace ground shift, and showed so much interest towards ground shift. So it's amazing, and I want to thank everybody for their support.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about the final track on the album, To the Other Side? I'm always drawn to an epic track, and that one there clocking in about 10 minutes is an absolute ripper to kind of finish off the album. And you kind of have that instrumental when you listen to the whole album. The Mirage instrumental kind of feels like it leads into that a little bit. It just sits so well just before that epic. So tell us a little bit about the instrumental and the final track on that.
Yeah, I kind of see that, as you said, the instrumental. I mean, the Mirage is kind of leading towards the to the other side, and it's like a calm before the storm, if you will. And yeah, always Mirage felt right away that it's gonna be instrumental, and yeah, that's how it turned to be. And it's a challenge to write instrumentals because you don't have vocals to keep it interesting, so you gotta have to turn every stone to replace those vocals and keep it interesting. And same goes for like to the other side and longer songs in general, because there's like you have to keep it interesting way more, much longer than typical 3 4 minute songs, when you can write like with 3 or 4 ideas, and that's usually enough. But with these kind of 10-minute songs, you really need to think a little bit differently. At least I do. But yeah, it's a really it turned out to be a really cool song, and I hope that people like it.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed it. I love going on the journey with an artist as well and kind of listening to whole albums. So I was really, really impressed. And as you mentioned, you kind of have these 3 minute, 4 minute tracks, which kind of bang, bang and grab the attention, and kind of keeping that attention, as you mentioned there, with these longer tracks sometimes is kind of half the
Mm.
challenge. Because even listening to whole albums these days, you know what I mean, with the streaming cycles and the way society is. It's like grab a song here, grab a song there. But I thoroughly encourage people to kind of listen to this whole album as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope so. But let's see if people have patience to go through it, because it's yeah. Fortunately, sometimes I do it myself. That if it's not interesting, like the first 30 seconds or whatever, I tend to skip the song. But I hope that's not the case with the Crowdshift album, and people will actually be patient and take a time to listen it through, because it's also a pretty rewarding album if you go it through all the way.
Yes, it certainly is. And I'm playing live. Have you guys managed to get in any live shows yet? Have you got anything coming up, or tell us all about that?
Well, we actually have our album release show coming up next Wednesday at Tavastia, Helsinki, which is a legendary club here. So that's where we're gonna kick off the live thingy, and then we have summer festivals, probably 10 or something, all around the Europe, which is pretty cool. So that's what we're focusing next after the release.
Yep.
And beyond that, let's see what opportunities will come in our way.
I dare say there's going to be plenty of opportunities all over the world for you guys. Is this the launch show? Is that the first official show for you guys live, or have you played something before?
No, this is going to be the very first show.
Oh, wow. I bet
it's pretty exciting.
I bet you're really looking forward to kind of getting on stage there and kind of just kicking it all off, because I know you guys have probably been playing together and you're all pretty tight anyway, but just kind of getting on there and having that fan reaction as well. Nothing kind of beats it, I suppose, as an artist.
Yeah, exactly. It's while I maybe played the couple of the guys before, but it's still a new songs, new group. Pretty much, and there's been a lot of years between the last time. So yeah, pretty exciting all the way.
So you must be really looking forward to kind of getting back on stage and playing live, because I know it would have been a tough time with you, the way things happened with Alexi, rest in peace, being, it would have been tough for you to kind of get this going again, but really cathartic to kind of get back in there and start creating music again and kind of doing what you love with a bunch of great friends.
Well, absolutely. And funny you mentioned Alexi, because that's the last time I was on stage with him, with Bottom After Midnight, in the very same venue that we're going right now. Yeah. So it's going to be emotional night for sure. And I hope that I can still remember what to do there.
I don't think there's going to be any problem at all. You're just going to get on there and you're absolutely going to tear it up, mate. Look, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. Do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you'd like to add in there, my friend?
Well, I want to thank you, everybody who listened to this, everybody who has supported us, and go check the album. It's going to be worth of your time.
Exactly. Everybody go grab the Crown Shift album. It does drop May 10th through Nuclear Blast. Put it in the stereos, crank it up to 11. The neighbors are going to want to hear it as well. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Oi, you're tuned in to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.